Unit 5 Grammar Modal Verbs Part 1. Is there Part 2? Yes, in Unit 6, inshallah. What are modal verbs? Modal verbs are words like can, could, shall, should, will, would, may, must, might, have to, had to, and ought to. One thing you must remember about modal verbs is that the verb that follows modal verbs is always in the base form, and that makes them very easy. You don't have to add ing, s, past participle or anything. Just use the verb in the base form. As an example, you say, you can go, you could go, you shall go, you would go, you may go. Each one of these has its unique use, a different use, different meaning, and some of them, like could as an example, can have multiple uses. And in today's video, inshallah, we will learn how to use these modal verbs in different situations. We will start with expressing ability, things you can do. I can speak English, or you can say, I am able to speak English. This is now. We use can and able to express ability in the present or future. Now, when I was a child, a long time ago, I couldn't speak English 6 years ago. Or when I was a child, you could also use I wasn't able to speak English. Now, this is in the past. We use can, could, and be able to. Be, am, is, are in the present. In the past, we use was and were to express ability. Now, there is a small difference between couldn't and wasn't able to. Couldn't is very general. If you have a specific or particular situation, it's better to use wasn't able to. However, you should know that both of them are correct. And that's it. We finished expressing ability. Move on to permission. Pam has a phone and Sally doesn't. Can I use your phone, Pam? Could I use your phone? May I use your phone? Or might I use your phone? She is asking for permission. Please let me use it. Can is informal. Use it with friends or your brothers and sisters. Well, if you ask permission from someone you don't really know very well, like when you talk to your teacher at school, you don't say, teacher, can I go to the bathroom? Well, it's informal to say that. It's not grammatically incorrect, it's not a mistake, but, you know, since that he or she is your teacher, you need to be polite and you say, teacher, may I go to the bathroom? Or could I go to the bathroom? Might I go to the bathroom? Do you understand? Okay. We finished permission. We're going very fast, very easy. Requests. Requests is when you ask somebody for a favor. Son, can you please take out the rubbish? Will you take out the rubbish? Could you, would you take out the rubbish? May I have my dinner when I come back? These people are making requests. They're asking for something from someone else. Notice something very important. With you, we, they, he, she, and it, you can't use may. You only can use may with I. Don't say, may you take out the rubbish? No. May I? Yes, correct. Okay? You can only use may with I. Can you use could with I? Yes, you can. You say, could I have my dinner? Can I have my dinner? Yes. But don't use may with other than I. Can and will are informal. You say that to your son, to your close friend. Use could, would, or may with people you don't know very well. Move on to advice and opinion. I have a runny nose. I'm sick. What should I do? We use should to give advice. Brainy Smurf says you should rest. You ought to rest. You shouldn't go out, or you ought not to go out. Should I see a doctor? Now this is positive, affirmative. This is negative, and this is a question. Yes, you should. You'd better rest. You'd is short for you had. You had better rest. You had better not go out. Now this is the same as this, and this is the same as this, right? What's the difference? The difference is that this is stronger. When you use had better is stronger. It is also used to express threat or warning, like, sir, I don't want you here. You'd better leave. You'd better leave. You'd is short for you had better. You're giving him a warning. Please don't stay here. I don't want you here. You'd better leave. Okay? We're done. Next. You must get on that plane. Something you must do. You have to take your passport with you. You need a new suit. Now, we are expressing obligation. Obligation means something you must do. You have no other choice. Need expresses necessity, which is something not very strong as obligation. Obligation, very strong. You must do. You have to do this. You need is not as strong. You mustn't stay here. You can't stay here. Well, mustn't and can't are the opposite of have to and must. They express prohibition. It's not allowed. You can't do this. You don't need to take all these bags as you're only leaving for a couple of days. You could also use you needn't take all these bags. You don't have to take all these bags. Now, we're expressing absence. There is no obligation. It's not required that you do this. Now, all these modal verbs are used in present and future. What about had to? Had to is only used in the past. Get it? If it's in the past, you can't use must or have to. Use had to. I had to get on that plane last week. You can use had to with you, we, he, she, and it, with all subject pronouns. Like we said before, one thing about modal verbs you shouldn't forget, the verb that follows is always in the base form. This is easy to remember. We do this with all modal verbs, and by doing this, we have finished today's grammar. Now, how easy was that? Now, I kept this right here as a summary, just to wrap things up. Everything we learned in today's video is in here. Now, read the sentences and circle the correct answer. Must I interrupt you, or may I interrupt you? Interrupt is when you stop someone from doing something. Like when you see someone talking to someone else and you interrupt that person, that means you made him or made her stop talking to that other person. Which one should we use? Well, we're asking for permission, right? May I interrupt you, sir? Or ma'am? They should or might make their reservations booking soon. Otherwise, the hotel will be full. They will find no available rooms. Well, we are giving advice or opinion. They should make their reservations. I've got really bad toothache. I'm in pain. You should or need go to the dentist. Dentist is a doctor for your teeth. Again, advice or opinion, you should. You mustn't or you don't have to wear a suit and tie. This is a suit, and this right here is a tie. The dinner party is not formal. We have only invited friends. You don't have to. It's not required. We only have friends in the party. I can't see the floor anymore. It's covered with dust and dirt. You really ought to, or you might, clean this room. Ought to, you should clean it. It's dirty. It's filthy. Could you please turn down, or should you please turn down the volume? It's very loud. I am trying to concentrate, focus on my homework. Now we're asking for a favor, right? You want somebody to do something for you. It's a request. Could you please? Will you please? Can you please? You mustn't or needn't use your mobile phone during the examinations, the tests. It's against the rules. It's illegal. You mustn't. Prohibition. I ought to or had to go to the bank yesterday to cash a check. When you cash a check, you give away your check and you take the cash. Well, yesterday, it's in the past, and something I had to do. I had no other choice. Obligation had to. I was sitting so far away from the speaker that I wouldn't or couldn't hear him very well. I lost the ability to listen or hear that person. You had better, you can also say you'd better not, or you don't have to wake up late again, or you will lose your job. Well, this is a very strong advice, or it could be a warning. If you are late again, you will lose your job. You had better not. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please share it with friends. I will see you again next time, inshallah. Goodbye.